Hey everyone, this is discjunkie, and I'm back today with one of those sets that are just, in my opinion, extremely unusual. And I mean, seriously, before I actually had this release in my hand, I just considered it to be a, like strange myth and, totally imaginary edition, because I had never seen any photos of it, no real photos. I had seen like one or two like preview images on really old online shops, but it does exist, and I was able to acquire this. It was pretty costly, but anyway, this is a Korean release of Usual Suspects. Obviously, it was released in 2002, and I think it sold out pretty quickly, or at least that's the rumor that I've heard about it. It was released by a company called Starmax, and you can also notice that it's got the Starmax logo on the back there. It's a pretty typical, it's a pretty typical tin case. You've probably seen this style before, like Donnie Darko in Germany, for instance, was released in this kind of tin. However, these tins usually have a keep case inside them. I was actually quite surprised when I opened this, because as it turns out, let me see if I can open this the right way, the inside of the case, first up here we have sort of like, just a two-page booklet. It's mainly just, got some filmography, it's got like something about the director, but it's all in Korean, so not too interesting. And you get the chapter index or scene selection stuff there. Next up, there's a small Starmax guide, which is basically just, promo booklet for some of their other releases. Nothing too interesting. But then we have the interior design, and as you can see, it's got a lot of nice coloring and a lot of nice graphics. The embossing on the front cover here is pretty thick, actually, as you can see, and it's just the red logo here that's actually embossed. The other is just printed. However, the strangeness of this case is just, I've seen a couple of other cases with this design, but it's definitely not too common. Here is a typical digitray, and this is supposed to be glued on. You can see some glue remnants actually right there, and up in the corners there as well. So it's supposed to be glued on, but it's such an old release and the glue just dried up, and I didn't really feel like getting new glue and putting it back on. But it's supposed to be glued on. And what else? The digitray has got the M-Lock hub, which I love. I know I keep saying that, but it's just the greatest hub. But yeah, not too much else to show you about this, I guess. Still, I'm not sure how limited it is, not sure. There was never any official numbering or number of copies. Very out of print, very hard to get. The back just has a white logo on it. Notice, however, that there's a slight color difference here. I'm not sure if this is only on my copy, but I've actually seen a preview shot of the back which had the same kind of strange discoloration, so I'm not sure. Pretty strange, but still, I just love this edition. One of the rarest versions of Usual Suspects, or so I think. But yeah, that's it from me today. Hope you enjoy this, and feel free to ask any questions or check out the website for more specs and stuff.